I wonder what we're talking about on this week's episode of Where Tigers Walk. Talk about Houdini. Welcome back. How are you all doing? I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful bank holiday weekend. Ben, Matty, and Jack are here to review the Portsmouth draw and survival in the Championship. Never in doubt, eh, Matty?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, never in doubt. I mean, I had total and utter faith in the boys last week. I knew we were just going to get a turnout a result.
Liar.
Absolute faith in the boys. But, no, we turned in a performance. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't great, but it doesn't matter. The result is what all that matters, and we have stayed up by the skin of our teeth. So let's move on to next season, please. Thanks, Matt. Night. See you later.
Oh, no, you don't. This week we are talking about that lucky escape from relegation and what next for Selles. Some people are saying he absolutely needs to stay. Others aren't so sure. And what about Acun as well? There's rumours that he might be selling. We'll get the panel's view on that in a minute. We'll talk about how we get the MKM back to being a place where we pick up points, and what's our season highlights. I think I know what that is going to be then. Goodness me. Ben, safety confirmed. Stu says, let's not have a season like that for a while, eh? Benel, how were your nerves from 12:30 to 2:30? Ben, talk me through it, what you went through.
Well, to be fair, they weren't as bad as I think they would have been had Luton been in a better position than they obviously were. Because as soon as they equalised, I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna win this!" And then obviously it went 2-1, went 3-1. I was slightly a little bit more optimistic. Obviously, we were a goal up at the time as well, but yeah, I mean, as soon as Portsmouth equalised, it was just like, hold on to your breath and pray that we don't concede again, because if we concede, we're completely up against it. We have to score. And yeah, it was the last half an hour, 25 minutes was very, very painful to watch. I was sat there watching it through my hands. I was like, oh my God. But when the ref the final whistle, it was just absolute relief.
Yeah, and great scenes from the away end, of course, as well. Jack, I mean, that is the closest anyone's come to being relegated without being relegated, Jack, isn't it? A one Portsmouth goal away from going down.
I know it's to think about it, it's just absolutely heartbreaking for Luton, but I don't really care. We scored the most goals. The table says which team was the worst, and they obviously scored less goals than us. So I hate when people say stuff like, "Oh, they didn't deserve to go down," or "You deserve to stay." The table is facts. The table tells you what it is. So even if we finished halfway through the table and we didn't play very well, it's just what it is. We picked up the most points. We scored the most goals. So, but yeah, it's just a relief to get out and to be in the Championship again. I mean, I know it's going to be another long season, and there's going to be more heartbreaks along the way. But I feel like Acun is on the edge of his seat, and he needs to realise now that, I think I said in my recent match report that this has to be his last chance at a season, because he's made far too many mistakes. And if the fans can turn on him in one game when we lose, then what's it going to be like again when we're struggling and fighting for another relegation scrap? So it's going to be difficult for Acun. I think he's under pressure a lot. Selles, we don't know. He could stay, he could walk, but I think I heard a little bit of the radio interview he did. He said he's happy to work on it next season, but so hopefully he can stay. He's got another season to build a team, and there's a new recruitment manager as well, which we really needed, because I feel like the last couple of windows have been a bit, barring a few players, Gelhardt and Poeta and all that, a lot decent players, but the others have just been awful. So we just need a clean of the closet. We need some more players in. I feel like we need to get use out of the young academy players. There's some talent in there. You see the clips of some of their games. I mean, Harry Vaughan and Sellers, Fleming, banging them in. So give them some time during pre-season. So yeah, I mean, we're saying this last season, weren't we, that would be good, but you never know. So, but yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm just glad that it's out of the way. We can focus on a fresh new start.
Thank you, Jack. Once again, you've answered all the questions that I was going to have to put to you. Matty, Jesus H. Christ, relief finally. Jamie says, we were very effing lucky. Huge summit ahead of us. Do you agree? I mean, there's other fans saying this, that you were lucky to stay up this time around, Matty.
I don't. I think you earn your luck, don't you? And I think there's been a lot of games when we have been extremely unlucky. You know, the own goals and deflections and stuff like that. But you know, a lot of it has been down to ourselves not being good enough. But I also think, you know, with the injuries that we've had, you know, two key players being out, you know, in Miller and Ballumi for the season. And then obviously Matazo was then out, and then we've had Barry out. So we have been unlucky with injury. We've been operating on, you know, Kamara, who's a young lad on the wing, who's, you know, we're expecting miracles out of him, and it's just not, you know, he's still developing. So, you know, we haven't performed what we were expecting. There have been failings in there, but, you know, Selles has come in. He has steadied the ship. He's kept us up, which was his remit when he came in. You know, when he came in, we were bottom of the league. So, you know, he's done an effective job, and he's kept us up in terms of that. So, yeah, you know, like Jack says, we are where we are. The table doesn't lie at the end of the day. After 45 games, we were the third worst team. After 46 games, we were the fourth worst team. So it works out like that, doesn't it? So, you know, we've earned our luck. We've been unlucky. Preston games, and, you know, probably the game where we was probably our saviour in the end. You know, we got 2 penalties that game. Yeah, we were lucky, but, you know,
deserved it.
Exactly. It does. When you're at the bottom, it feels like a lot doesn't go for you, and you don't get the right decisions. You don't get the rubber green. We certainly haven't had, you know, a lot of things go for us, and that was the one game where the penalties went for us. That was great. So, you know, we are where we are. We finished. We're staying up. Let's just write this season off as a complete disaster, positive, and move on.
Let's have a look at some more then. So Jamie says, regarding Selles, Ben, keep the man and let him build his own team. And there's quite a few, actually, more in support of him than wanting him out, it's fair to say. Ben, I mean, I think last week you were on the fence a little bit, or hedging towards him being gone. Where are you now? Keep him?
I think I'd probably say keep him. I think after a season like that, we need the stability of going from like basically the same tactics to the next season instead of having a complete change again like we did last season. And given the chance to build his own team and bring in players that he wants and like build the team around them, giving him a full pre-season to build the team up and get the tactics fully drilled in, because realistically when he came in, he didn't really have a great deal of time like he would over the off season and pre-season to sort of lay the rules and then get started, almost go in and hit the ground running, which is a hard thing to do in such a tough league. So I think I can see the reasons why people would be against keeping him on. And I think there has been times when his decision-making in games have been questionable to an extent. Where the subs he's made have been probably the wrong ones, and at times have cost us in terms of points or like results. So, yeah, but I think I'm firmly in the party of keep him on, let him build from the ground up, and then see what happens next season. And just, I think Acun needs to not be like so impulsive to the point where we might have failed this season in terms of where we wanted to be. But if we look at it realistically, we've got a good manager, and it's not worth having it'll be like the 6th manager in 5 seasons or something absolutely ridiculous like that. And if it goes that way, we'll be like Watford, where it's you don't quite hit the mark and you're gone, and then you have to build up again, and it just you get any stability, you never get any momentum. So yeah, I think I would definitely say keep him and let him let him build on the team we have and bring in his own players, and then fingers crossed do a better job next season.
Of course, cheers, Ben. That's not our decision, Jack, because this time last season your manager got you in 7th, and then found out he was sacked. So goodness knows what's going to happen for a manager who's just got you. It's just got you 21st. We shall wait to see. Right. The reason you're down there, of course, is because of your home form. If we looked at just the home games, do you know what, Jack? Do you know where you would be in the league?
21st.
You'd be bottom.
24th.
Yeah.
I was going to say bottom, but I don't want to be so.
Bottom, yeah.
Absolutely rock bottom. I mean, that is stinking, isn't it? It's 5 home wins all season, 8 draws, 10 defeats, 28 conceded, 24 scored. I know we've asked you this before, Jack, but what fundamentally has got to change at home for this not to be repeated?
It's a difficult one because you think that you're at your own home ground and you've got the fans behind you that you'd play well, but we seem to, when we sell out games or when we have a lot of crowds, we seem to be nervous. So I think I said this last week in one of the pods that we just crack under pressure and we're not very good, but we seem to be less attacking at home, I have to say. I mean, I've watched us all season at home. I don't think I missed a home game, and I've analysed how we play. And the first 10-15 minutes are the best we've played. And then suddenly it just stops. We have a car crash, and then the other team gets back into the game, and inevitably we have to find a way back in, and it only comes towards the last part of the half. So we do have periods where we're really good. But when the other team gets in, that's it. We blow up. I think when we concede 1 goal early, it just messes with our heads. But I guess you can't really say, like, we've just got to defend for the first 15 minutes. That can't happen. But something needs to change. The way we handle home games, I mean, to kind of think it's an away game and just, you know what, just take it in our stride. We've got the fans. They're all on our side. If we make a mistake, we've got the fans, hopefully, to encourage us. But there's little you can do with regarding how we play at home. It's up to the manager to sort out a new tactic. But again, it's just, we don't know. It's really difficult to answer because it's not in our hands, like I've just said. But the only thing I could think of is just the fans just getting the atmosphere going, because again, that's another thing that dies down within the first 15 minutes. I mean, North Stand call them a stand that chants, and then they ever go to the East Stand when we don't chant. But we're not the side that promised loud noise all season. So, yeah, I suppose it's a bit of both. I think the fans have to kind of also be up for it, then the players will be up for it. But then again, yeah, so it's got to be a bit of both, I guess. So that's the only solution I can see.
Like we said a couple of weeks ago, you need a new song. You need a brand new upbeat song that keeps going on there.
I mean, the one we had, the song we have, I think nearly every single fan sings it. It's loud when it gets going. I mean, it's clips of the Leeds games and sold out games when it's loud. So I wouldn't know what we'd change it to if we was going to change anything. But we've definitely got to. What about a drum? No, I'm joking.
No,
not a drum.
Let's have a look at the away form then. I mean, this is head scratching, Matty. Just going off away games. Look at that. Yeah, 7th. Yeah. 7th in the league. Which is just mad, isn't it? What'd you put that down to? Why have you been more successful away from home this season?
It's probably rooted why we're being so poor at home. I think we're probably better to set up away from home in terms of the team and the tactics. I just think early on in the season it was just crazy, weren't it? We had crazy Walter ball, which was just, well, I still don't even know what planet he was on with some of those tactics. So, you know, Selles has kind of come in and set us up a bit more difficult to play away. And I think tactically, I don't know if he is a defensive coach or he's a cautious coach. I'm still trying to get my head around it. Like Jack says, we're not a particularly attacking team, although we have had periods where we have looked quite attacking. I think we tend to set up better away from home. Teams, let teams come on to us and then get on the break. And I think in the championship, it's if you can go 1-0 up away from home, unless you're coming up against a Leeds or a Burnley, I don't think many teams can come back from that. To be honest, it is such a bizarre league, isn't it? If you can get in front by a goal, you can kind of hold your own in terms of that. So I don't know. We'd probably just set up better away from home. We can keep the ball better. We do have players that can break, I suppose, and when we can just snatch a goal from somewhere. And defensively, I think I think defense has come in for a lot of criticism, but I think actually our defense hasn't been that bad. I think we still concede poorly from crosses, but the addition of Egan and Hughes has definitely helped since they've come back. So I don't think we're that bad. I think it's obviously offensively we're just not going to score many goals just with the personnel that we've got. So yeah, we're just probably a better setup going away from home, I presume. So yeah.
All right. One more tweet then from the season. Vegas Soup says, "Thank God for that. We get to see Balumi again. Regardless of the quality of the season, such an utter delight to support this team and play in this glorious league. We do not have it bad. Enjoy all your summers." That's exactly what certainly intend to do once we've wrapped up here. First off, though, we need to ask you, Ben, fixtures when they come out in the summer. I mean, are you just glad that they aren't reading Stevenage away and Bolton at home? Any preferences as to what you would want or what you wouldn't want when it comes out?
Not really, to be honest. Just as long as it's a championship fixture, I'm happy. I mean, Leeds was obviously always the one you'd look forward to, Leeds away, because City haven't really got a result there in quite some time, but when they do, it's always a great atmosphere to just give it back to them. But in terms of other rivalries, there's only really Wednesday, to be honest. Maybe we might have a good chance at beating them next season because of the way they're going, but glad it's going to be in the championship.
Okay. And nobody minds going to Wrexham away the first game then? Wouldn't mind at all?
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Okay.
At least we'll be on. At least we'll be on the TV.
It'll be on the
telly. That'd be great. We'll give the podcast a plug as well. If we're there.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, yeah, fantastic. This season we've seen a lot more of Hull on TV. Obviously, 12:30 kickoffs and lots of changes to television money as well. Jack, for you, has it ruined your viewing, your enjoyment at all? Early kickoffs or being on TV on a Friday, so on? I mean, you're glad of the money, but has it been a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, because I'm a teenager, the weekend ones don't affect me because I can just get up a bit earlier, get up a bit later, and just go to whatever timings on the weekend. But during the week, the away games that are 5-6 hour journeys, it just really annoys me because I can't do them. However, the ones that are within 2 hours, school give me permission to go off and do it for my writing and podcasting and stuff like that. So I've been quite lucky. I've been fortunate. I've been able to go to some of these games. But I like Portsmouth yesterday. It was just a ridiculous timing. I mean, I know it's not every game where you've got a 7 hour journey, but I would have had to sleep all Friday afternoon, get up early, but I was at school, so I can't do that. Get up early at 2 o'clock in the morning, just disrupt the full pattern of routine and stuff like that. And I've got exams coming up, but it's not really affecting me except from those couple of away games that are down south somewhere. So I've been quite blessed.
There'll be people, neutrals, listening to all of that, Jack, saying one thing to all of that is, well, you will support Hull. You will live in Hull.
And I'm
Fair
proud of
point.
it.
Yeah,
Got a shock
yeah.
coming in for real life, Jack. Crikey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
When real life
I'll watch
kicks
this
in,
back.
mate, you're absolutely screwed.
Yeah, and don't have
I'm only-
children if you want.
I'm only
If you
22.
want to know your life. Yeah.
I'm only 22. Look at me.
But you managed.
Right.
You managed.
Right, Matty. Welcome thing, bad thing. How's it affected enjoyment of Hull City for you? Early kickoffs.
I think it's just in general, isn't it? I think it's just the whole point. I mean, I've been going City for whatever 30, 40, not 40 years. Well, nearly that. But it was just, it's routine, isn't it? You used to get up. I'd go training when I was a kid, or you'd watch Football Focus or Soccer AM as it was back in there, and then you go. Then you go to the pub and have a few beers or whatever, and then it was kind of just setting routine. And I think it's I'm probably a bit of a traditionalist. I think 3 o'clock kickoff is fine. I just don't get these. We have had a couple of Sunday kickoffs when they clash with the Premier League. What is the point of that? Nobody's going to be tuning in to watch Hull versus Stoke on a Sunday. When you've got all the teams in the Premier League. It's just ridiculous just to kind of. I don't see the point of that. I just really don't see the point of it. So for me, stick to 3 o'clock. Yeah, I don't mind the odd game here and there, on a Friday, or I don't particularly like a Monday, but Friday's all right. I don't mind that, but I just keep to tradition, keep to all of the. This is I get on my high horse here. I get my soapbox here, but I think that's Sky, isn't it? Just kind of, and I think most fans would agree that. I know Sky put the money in, but they are kind of ruining, and that goes down to the atmosphere as well. The atmosphere has been killed at most games because you've got a 12-click kickoff or an evening kickoff. It just kills the atmosphere as well. Like Jack says, people are knackered when they go to the game, or they're coming back from wherever. It just kind of kills it a little bit. So, yeah, I'm a traditionalist. Keep to 3 o'clock. The odd game here and there, midweek's fine. That's fine, but just don't. It's a formula that works. It's worked for years. Why are we changing it? Just so we can get maybe 1,000 people watching whatever on a Sunday. Just don't work.
Ben?
I think I agree with the lads. It's just I don't see the point in some of them where, like, exactly like Matty said, they're on a Sunday where you've got a team from the Premier League, like a Man United game or a Man City game, that's clashing at the same time. It doesn't make sense, and it, exactly as Matty said, it takes away the attendances, and that could be a contributing factor to why we're so poor at home. We've not had quite as many in because of kickoff times and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the ones on like a Friday. It does take a lot of the fans out of the stadium because people obviously finish work late and aren't able to get there in time, or people have other commitments during the week. And if it was just on a Saturday at 3 p.m, everyone would be happy. And to be honest, we'd probably get a near full stadium every week. But yeah, I think it's just the way it's going to go, unfortunately, and we'll have to get used to it, because I think once they've got their pattern of the fixtures and the timings of them in place, there's not really much chance of it changing back. So yeah, it's just something I think we'll have to get used to eventually, and it will probably mean that it is very challenging to go to, if you want to try and go to every game in every season. It makes it that much more difficult. So it's a shame, because it does essentially force you to miss some games, but it's, I think, just something that is going to have to happen, because I don't think it's going to change, unfortunately.
No, I think I agree with you. Right, thank you very much for that one. Just before we finish, we're going to go back to the very first ever record that we did back in August and see what you predicted. Now, Matty and Jack, you were on the very first ever record. Ben, you joined us a little bit later on. After that, we asked you back then, both of you, where you thought Hull were gonna finish. Should we have a quick listen to what you said?
Go on.
Yeah. 11th then. We'll go 11th. We'll take that now.
Okay. Any events on 11th? Well, let's go back. Jack, where will Hull City finish this season?
I think 15th, 16th. I'll go.
Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout.
No.
Oh, should we be optimistic? 12th. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Who is that bloke?
12th. I mean, yeah.
It's optimistic there, Matty.
Yeah, really optimistic.
Don't worry, we'll ask you again in August. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more suppressed predictions. Okay. Season highlight. It doesn't have to be, on the pitch. It could be something that's happened outside. What's the one moment you'll think you could tell your kids about in 5 years' time, if there is one? Ben?
I think I know it's not obviously the most glamorous way to survive, but the way that we did, obviously on goal difference, is very rare, and the way we did it is quite literally by the skin of our teeth, level on points, but only just beat Luton on goal difference. So the highlight of quite a low season has probably been surviving on the last day, because if we'd have gone down, it would have been a very, very disappointing feeling, and it would have been a very toxic atmosphere. I think a lot of the fans on social media would have quite definitely turned completely on the owner, on the club, on the manager, the players. So yeah, I think the highlight has to be just surviving. I know it obviously wasn't the goal initially, but you've got to be happy with it in the end.
Yeah, fair enough. Jack?
I'm going to have to... It's going to be a toss-up between Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday. You could throw in a bit of QPR win there, because it's just a perfect day. Trains were actually on time for once. Didn't get cancelled or anything. And we won. We won it.
Your highlight of the season is the trains being on time in London.
Have you not? They're not telling
Is that how bad it's been?
They're not telling a story about the other last season when we went down there.
You did.
Oh, it was dreadful. But no. Other than that, I think it has to be watching Charlie Hughes' bullet of a header hit the back of the net. That was another great day as well. So Sheffield Wednesday.
Matty.
I can't compete with trains, Jack. I'm really can't compete with trains being on time. So I'm struggling. I think probably for me, would be the Leeds game. I mean, I do live in Leeds, so I've got a lot of. I know, unfortunately, it's one of those things. Well, technically, I'm outside of Leeds, so but I do. The team that I coach, I've got a lot of Leeds fans and stuff like that. So I've had to listen to it all season. So and it was just nice when we brought it back against them to draw in that game. That was a particularly good game, because they were lauding it, and I was getting a load of stick off everybody and lauding it, saying. Singing. Oh well, I mean, they did end up being champions in the end, so I'll let them off. But at the time, they didn't, and I think that comeback there was one of the highlights, I suppose, particularly because Meliele had a stinker, and then Kamara, the kind of jumped. He kind of emerged on the scene, didn't he, with those two goals? So. And it was just great to kind of lord it over everybody that I know on the way back, which is great. So probably that game, I think that was probably one of the highlights for me. It has been a real struggle, hasn't it, to kind of come up with 5 highlights. One highlight, never mind, anymore. But take the Leeds game, take that spirit. Let's build on that for next year and finish in the top 6.
Fantastic.
Top 2.
That is our last question of this 24-25 season answered. Thank you so much, all of you. And thank you massively, every single one of you who has watched any of our content this season, has supported it, liked it, subscribed to it, commented on it. We've done 39 weeks of this, 39 weeks of talking about Hull City. And I'm not even a Hull City fan. I must have done something wrong. It's been a real pleasure. It's been a real pleasure for me to sit along this journey with you. A massive thank you, of course, to Jack, and good luck, of course, Jack, from all of us for your exams, which start next week. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Week
So
on
good luck.
Monday.
Yeah, good luck for that. Massive thank you to Ben for joining us and pulling the positivity, I think, through most of these plans. And massive thank you to Matt, of course, who's been here from the start as well, who always is never afraid to say what he thinks, which was always welcome. Thank you very much for watching. That's it now till August the 8th, I think it is, when we're back. So join us for the kickoff of the new season, when we might have a new manager, a brand new team. We're going to have obviously Birmingham, Wrexham, Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich back with us, and another one from League One. But main thing is Hull City are in the Championship for another season, and we're looking forward to doing it all again with you in August. Have a great summer, everyone. I really appreciate all your support. Up the Tigers!
Come on!
Tigers.